were born
Mhm.
in US, but on one side you are Ukrainian, another side you are German, and you do speak German besides
I do.
English.
I do.
Yeah,
German was my first language. And I've always been told this, that I did not speak English at home until I started kindergarten, when I was going on 5 years old. And at that point, I would be speaking English with my sister. And then as we grew older, as many bilingual kids often do, I have a continuous memory of interacting with my parents where they would speak German with me or us, and we would generally reply in English because it was the easier thing to do. But in retrospect, I am so grateful that my parents did raise us speaking German, because my relatives are all in Germany. I do not know any relatives in Ukraine. My father had to leave, escape as a technical matter. So I have cherished the ability to be able to communicate with my relatives in Germany.
Yeah, and that makes a huge difference. If you can speak in the language, you can present yourself, probably in a way that they will never understand you. If you do it in English or in any other language, there is a degree of intimacy that like you can only experience if you get into German. What's your relation with Germany overall?
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
What's your relation with Germany? Like, do you feel connected? Do you visit from time to
Yes.
time? How do you feel
Yeah.
about Germany?
Yeah. So it is a country, and I'm going to set aside histories and politics. I know full well what they are. I have older relatives who were involved in some of the sad times during the wars. Now, no Nazis or SS officers, but wartime involvement. An uncle who fought in Russia and literally walked back home to Berlin on foot, survived a horrible battle there. And my grandfather spent years in exile after the war, and then he eventually could come back home. So I know some of the hardship through the stories that were relayed to us and listening to my grandparents speak, and also memories that my parents both shared. They were as the phrase goes, war children. I mean, they did have the houses bombed over their heads. And they would talk about first interacting with the Allied forces and the American soldiers, things like that. But Germany as a country of a culture and a language and a celebratory way of being, and the traditions and the art and the architecture, I've enjoyed it and embraced it fully, and I've incorporated many bits and pieces into my writing as well. And I've been very grateful that I've had that addition to my the American that I am. I'm a Midwest American woman, and also very near and dear is Germany as well, as a culture and a country and its people.
This question was not in my mind, but it just came now. What is a Midwest woman in the US?
Yeah. So one of the things that I have come to understand about people that come from places that not everybody knows about, and it's not as much the case as it used to be before technology brought many people much closer together. But for instance, if I were from Paris, I could say I'm a Parisian, and people can often stand on the location itself. Being from having grown up in a small town about an hour away from Indianapolis, living in Indianapolis, it isn't so much a situation where I'm saying, yeah, I'm from Indianapolis, and that somehow is going to make me special or whatever. I think it starts to circle back to it's more about who we are and sums of our deeds and what we're all about. And some of the things that are viewed with humor about Midwesterners, whether it's being kind, apologetic, on time, things like that. And there are jokes about all over the place on that. It's something that sits very well with me, because I think it's also a very grassroots and understated and easygoing way of being. And I do happen to like that too.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So I just learned something. So you guys are known to be on time, which is something you would share with the Germans. So the Germans in Europe have the reputation,
Yes.
of
Oh,
discipline,
yes.
hard work. They are punctual. So if you are meeting a German, you better be there on time, because actually, I just came to my mind now. Once I was with my friend in a pub not far from here, and he does Airbnb, and his guest was German, and we arrived there 5 minutes after, because my friend is okay. I don't mind my prejudices. My friend is Brazilian, so he's very easygoing. We have
Yes.
time. I still need
Yes.
to check something on the internet. I need to WhatsApp
Yes.
my kids. That says, so we are late. And when we arrived there, the German fellow wasn't in the table, wasn't at the door. He was nowhere. So we thought he would arrive a bit later, because we arrived 5 minutes after. So we waited another 5 minutes. We waited another 10 minutes. And I asked my friend, do you mind text that German guy? Because we cannot see him. Maybe he went to another pub. He doesn't live in Ireland. Maybe he got lost. It's better to know where he is. Eventually, he texted him, and he said, yeah. German guy replied and said, yeah, I was there on time. You didn't show up after 5 minutes, so I just left. I thought you were not coming.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a pretty extreme. I mean, I think 5-minute
Yeah.
window should be okay just about anywhere in the world.
Yeah, no, 100%. We were laughing. Eventually, he came back, and we had a great night out. So it
Good.
was
Well, that's
was
good.
good. Was
Yeah.
good. Was good.
Yes.
Yeah.